Now, one question I often get asked is it possible to over skim your reef aquarium? And all in all, it does depend on the sort of corals you want to keep. So if you are going to keep small polyp, stony corals, acroporas and all that sort of stuff, in general I would probably suggest that you can't really over skim. If you are going to keep LPS and leather corals and soft corals, then to some degree you can over skim. And the way that I test whether I think you're over skimming or not is to do a 3-week test. And what I believe the 3-week test does is just monitor the value of the skimmer. If the tank is moderately or largely stocked, it is extremely rare for over skimming to be any sort of problem. If the tank is quite lowly stocked, then just consider this 3-week test and monitor the results of your aquarium. So once again, with aquariums with low nutrient stores, I have actually reduced the period that the skimmer's running, and actually believe that my corals are actually opening up and performing better. So once again, a 3-week test is basically clean the skimmer as you normally do, and run the skimmer for 3 weeks. Do not add any trace elements, do any water changes, or do anything that is going to compromise this test. If after 3 weeks the skimmer is no longer skimming, then I would question whether the skimmer needs to be run all the time. At that point, I will normally either run the skimmer less, so maybe run it for a couple of days a week instead of running it all the time. Because if you find that after 3 weeks with normal servicing, the skimmer is no longer pulling anything out of the water until you go back to adding your trace elements and so forth, then you would have to assume that it's possible that the only thing that the skimmer is actually removing are the good things that you actually purchase to put in the water. There are various products too, such as NPX and so forth, that do require you to skim. And you can, so therefore you would not want to do this if you are using those products. So make sure you're familiar with what you're actually putting into the water.